What I think needs to change between the police and the community is a couple things. Protection. I feel like the cornerstone of protection is love. And what I mean by that is, I have two daughters, right? I love them, so I'm not gonna let anything happen to them. Even when they mess up, even whenever they're bad, even whenever um, they show out, I might discipline them, but I love them. So my first reaction is to protect them. For the police and officers, if they were to see people, black people, or anybody that they feel like is a threat, if they were to see them as, okay, this is a human, this is a person, it's somebody I'm supposed to love and protect, first, and not as a thug, or I don't like I think that you can't protect somebody who you don't love. You can't serve somebody who you don't care about. Whenever they approach situations, first thought is negative about a person, or they look at somebody, whether the person hasn't even said or done anything, but they look and go, this guy's a thug, So they're gonna treat him, and he hasn't even opened his mouth yet. They're gonna treat him like a thug. That's the first thing. We need to reevaluate how we look at people, and how we treat people, and how we talk to people, and how we approach people. The second thing is training. And I think that officers and cops need to be trained that way. If somebody's combative, or if somebody argues, so that they can always win the argument, or so that, I'm the law, so I'm right, but how can I make this situation better for this person who I may have to arrest, who I may not need to arrest, and myself, so that we can both go, home, or so that we can get whatever's about to happen taken care of the easiest way possible. For instance, like with Sandra Bland, that situation, she was upset. The situation hadn't even escalated until he said, put your cigarette out, and she said she don't have to. Did she have to? No. But what happened was, he didn't like her saying no to him, and so he escalated the situation. And what did he do? Get out the car. Why? Because she don't want to put her cigarette out? It was more or less about his ego, his pride, and the challenge of his authority, than it was anything else. Officers need to be trained on how to put that in check, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? That, like, she should never been arrested. Should never been pulled out of her car because she didn't want to put her cigarette out. He should have had his ego in check, should have had his pride in check, you know what I mean? And he should be able to, know, okay, this is a person who's obviously in an uncomfortable situation, doesn't want to be pulled over, she's going to have an attitude. She's not popping a cigarette in because, she just got done having sex and she's trying to calm down, popping a cigarette in her mouth because she's nervous, she's upset, she's frustrated. How do you deal with that kind of person? Pull them out the car and arrest them? No. You see somebody as a monster and you're afraid of them, then your first reaction when you see a monster is to pull out your gun and want to kill it because you're threatened. No matter if the monster has opened their mouth or nothing. But are we monsters? No, we're people. We're humans. You should see us as humans and as people you should want to protect and serve, not as somebody you gotta kill. And I think those are the first two things. The next thing I think is that if we're gonna march and we're gonna, we gotta be ready. We gotta, don't just march, but also vote. Don't just show up, whenever, just because it's people showing up. Just take it a step further. Take ownership of it. Okay, when it's time to vote, let's not just vote for the president, but vote for the people that represent us in our state. We don't even know who our representatives are. We don't even know who our community leaders are. We know who the hottest rappers are. We know we can recite, so and so's rap lines, but who's your community leader? We don't know. Who's your state representative? We don't know. Who's gonna take a problem to? I don't know. I'm marching though. There's more to it than just that. You need to show up and take ownership of the problem, ownership of the situation, ownership of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I think it just goes way beyond just showing up and marching. We need to be people who actually get out and be, active in the politics of not just, our country, but in our cities and in our states. That's what it starts at. You have all these communities full of people, and you're like, where was all these people when it was time to vote then? There's thousands and thousands of people that showed up for the march, but You know, did all y'all vote? You gotta realize, like, not everybody, you know, that's speaking is for the people. Like some people, I see people just get up there just to get the mic and say something, you know, and want to be seen, want to be heard. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't help us. That doesn't help the cause. You know, there's so many layers, man, and I don't got all the answers, but you know that I just think that those are a couple of things that do need to happen. I feel like on the law enforcement side, those are a couple of things that have to happen. Is that we gotta retrain people, do evaluations with these people who are Barney Fifes out here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like actually, like, you know, we need to not just do psych evaluations, but personality assessments on some of these people, because they're like, you ever been to like a club and you just have a security guard who takes his job way too seriously? It's like, bro, just calm down, man. Like it's just some shoes. Why you bugging out on my shoes? And he wants to, you know, hem you up over you got the wrong shoes on. You know, like I think that sometimes if we can actually do personality assessments on these people, we can realize they may not be crazy, but they're not the right person to be a police officer. So I think all that stuff matters. And I think that just because somebody's willing to get up and, you know, put on a badge and carry a gun doesn't make them qualified to do it.
But yeah, it's about taking a journey, you know what I mean? So it's even like asking some questions like to myself, like even if we look at the track titles, you know, basically saying like, why am I still continuing to do this music stuff? And then the rebuttal is, I will never know.
You know, we were listening to everything like pop, new wave, whatever, rock. And then of course hip hop started coming. I mean, we didn't know it was called hip hop. Hip hop really got really big in the West Coast is because of 1580 K-Day.
And now what are they doing? They're trying to rise up, and they started this Black Lives Movement in the same way that, like, you know, our parents and James Brown was like, I'm black and I'm proud. Like, it's the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So like, my fear is that at some point, none of us are actually like reading our actual history to be like, we tried that already.
It's not just the work, it's the pressure on top of it. It's the pressure of you doing something that no one else is doing. Everyone sees college and job and this and that. So you have that pressure of people non-stop asking you questions. When is this gonna happen? When is that gonna happen? So that's like the hardest thing of this whole game. It's doing something that no one else does.